It's time to enter the world of real estate with Hawaii's only true real estate show, the Team Lally Real Estate Show. Grab a pen and get ready to take notes. Hawaii's premier real estate leaders, ADRIENNE LALLY and Attilio Leonardi, will bring you the latest in real estate news and real-world strategies on how they can guarantee to sell your home at a price and deadline you agree to, or they'll buy it. Now, here are your hosts, ADRIENNE and Attilio.
Welcome to the Team Lally Real Estate Show, home of the Guaranteed Sold program, or we'll buy it. If you have any real estate questions, you can reach us at 633-8633. That's 633-8633, or at teamlally.com, and that's Lally.
Well, hey everybody, this is Attilio. You know, I was in Maui. I was standing in front of the Maui Ocean Center, taking a picture of the sign, and this tourist pulled up to me in a car behind me and said, "Hey, you know where the Maui Ocean Center is?" And I didn't say anything. I looked at him, I looked at the sign, and he's like, "Nope," and then he drove off. But anyway, I was at the Maui Ocean Center. This lady started asking me a bunch of tax and legal questions, and I said, "Those are great questions, but I highly recommend you seek the appropriate licensed professional." And then I said, "But Mom, what other questions do you have?" So if you hear of anything on the show sounds like legal advice, who should they run that past?
The Attorneys with Heart right here in Mailuku.
Cain and Herren.
KainandHerren.com.
Yep, check them out. And if you hear anything that sounds like tax advice, hey, you should run it past your friendly neighborhood CPA. And if you're a CPA listening to this show, we would like to talk to you, because we're always looking for somebody to call in with a tax tip of the week.
So speaking of Cain and Herren,
yes,
and legal advice, we actually have David Cain himself on the phone with the legal tip of the week.
All right, David, are you there?
Hi, guys.
Hi.
Hello.
So, yeah, I thought this week we'd talk real quickly about recording deeds in real estate and the closing process.
Okay.
Okay, so here in Hawaii, some states don't have a system like Hawaii. We have an escrow company which prepares the documents for the parties here in Hawaii. In actually the majority of states, it is an attorney who prepares those, and you actually close at an attorney's office. We really don't see a lot of attorney involvement with closings here. I think there probably should be a little more, because a lot of times I'll have clients come to me and just not realize what they're signing.
Yes.
And that's, you guys know, you've been to a lot of closings. You sign document after document after document. I mean, you must put 20 signatures down there. So, what an attorney would like to do is kind of talk to a client and say, okay, now, this document is a note. It's your promise to repay. This document is a mortgage. And, actually I've reviewed so many, like Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac type mortgages that I can really tell a client, hey, here's the section that says this, and, you've got to do this, and you got to comply with such and such. So, I don't know. I think Hawaii has an interesting system in that you don't need an attorney, but it probably wouldn't be a bad idea to have one.
Sure.
And we have some of our clients that have their attorneys review paperwork. Usually we find that with clients that are, in the mainland.
Right. And that's, again, that's because on the mainland, the majority do actually require attorneys as opposed to having escrow companies involved. But, I just think that you're making such an important purchase, usually, that it's the biggest one in your life. You should know what you're signing.
Yes.
And come on, I mean, at escrow companies, they're not allowed to give legal advice anyway, so they really can't say anything.
Yes.
And it's just, I think it's a disservice.
I think my take on that is, I think it's pretty cool to be able to say, I'm going to have my attorney review that.
So if any of our listeners would like some paperwork reviewed for their buying or selling or escrow loans, what's a good number to reach you guys at?
Well, our main number is 808-242-9350, and we actually work on all islands, even though we're based here on Maui.
Yes.
Maui no KAOI, of course, but we do work on all islands. So, and The state is pretty much set up for us to do work on all islands. It's pretty interesting when you have to fly to the federal courthouse. So
yeah, it's not like licensees in the state are licensed. Well, in these particular fields, they're licensed by island. You're licensed to operate in the state, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct. Yes.
Okay, so we know that because of the internet, people are listening to our show, and we also do have it on our website. So
and then we have it on iTunes on a podcast.
On a podcast. So we do plan for the listeners that may be on the outer islands or thinking about moving to Hawaii. Do you guys, tell me the number. Is there the same number they're going to call if they're calling from Oahu?
Yes, it's
okay.
808-242-9350. Here on Maui, you don't have to dial the 808, but anywhere in the state. We have some Oahu phone lines, but that just kind of confused people. Our main, we have 8 attorneys, and they're really based here on Maui. But for review of contracts, things like that, bankruptcy, whatever, we definitely travel to all islands.
Yeah, and with today's people's cell phones, it's really people just dial the number anyway, so it's not that big of a deal. There's nobody. I don't know how these phone companies make money. They don't get long distance charges anymore. All right, so good to always have an attorney review things. You're making, especially in a mortgage, it's a 30-year commitment, right, at minimum?
It is, and, you're making a promise to repay, and absent very odd circumstances, you're going to repay it plus interest. So, you better know what you're signing, why you're signing it, if you're co-signing something for someone, or becoming what we call an accommodation party, then you better know.
And you're absolutely correct that people, it's questionable whether they really understand or know what they're signing. And here's a big one. I'll be honest with you. A lot of times we're going over with paperwork and we're hitting the highlights. But very rarely, and I said, your sign here, initial there, date there, and we have tons of paperwork in the real estate industry, and we hit the highlights and have them review it and tell them, take your time. But very rarely do I get somebody that reads.
I think that happened one time, and
we had that one time.
3 hours.
Yeah, I mean, right.
We have a reader.
That's the issue as well.
Yes.
I mean, it's so much paperwork you're asking people to sign,
yeah.
and you really, gosh, a long closing is probably 40 minutes, right? I mean, but, when something lasts 3 hours, everybody's, probably the escrow officers rolling their eyes. That's why, and everybody is. That's why you want to come into your attorney, have a private consultation. Okay, here are the documents that we're looking to sign. Plus it gives an attorney the opportunity to go over the HUD-1, which is, as you guys know, is real important when you're buying real estate, because that's where all the fees have to be reconciled. And if someone's adding a little sneak fee, then, hey,
you want to catch it.
You want to catch it.
Yeah. So important stuff. If you need the services of and I like your guys' tagline, Attorneys with Heart, that number is 242-9350. 242-9350, and they are
KainandHerren.com.
KainandHerren.com. Anywhere in the state of Hawaii,
give them a call.
They will provide you some help.
Yes.
Well, you guys are the real estate agents with heart, that's for sure.
Well, thank you so much.
Thanks.
All right, David, well, it's lunchtime. So we still got to do a radio show, but eat something good for us.
I will.
All right, thanks, David.
Okay, guys, bye-bye.
All right, so we still have our quotes of the day. We have some quotes. All right. So, who are these from? Is this from Jack Handey?
This is Jack Handey.
All right.
Jack Handey was a wise old sage man. He was a Greek philosopher. No, he was like a comedian on humorist on Saturday Night Live.
All right, so I think there should be something in science called the reindeer effect. I don't know what it would be, but I think it would be good to hear someone say, gentlemen, what we have here is a terrifying example of the reindeer effect.
I'm going to use that next time. When we sit down with homeowners, people think we're all unique individuals, but there's some common statements that people make. The one that we come across with all the time is when we're talking about the pricing of the home. What do they always say? Or sometimes they say it.
I don't want to give it away.
I don't want to give it away. I want to get my home sold, but I don't want to give it away. So when I hear that the next time, I'm going to say, you know what? That's what in our industry, we call it the reindeer effect. And they're like, that's called the reindeer effect? Yeah, that's called the reindeer effect. Wow, I didn't know that. So I'm going to start a trend. They're going to be like some realtor in Connecticut is going to be like, Oh, yeah, you don't want to give it away. That's called the reindeer effect. Okay, next. What's the next quote?
Okay, so why do there have to be rules for everything?
Mm-hmm.
It's gotten to the point that rules dominate just about every aspect of our lives. In fact, it might be said that rules have become the foot-long sticks of mankind.
Yes. So, yeah, it's these quotes, they're kind of like, it's like biting into a donut that has something in the middle, but you don't know what it is. And you're just pleasantly surprised.
That
you do.
That it's a Maui Sada.
It's a Maui Sada. Speaking of Maui Sadas, no, I just wanted to say Maui Sada in a sentence.
We will have a Maui Sada on the show later.
Later on. What's the last quote?
All right, here's the last one. If you think a weakness can be turned into a strength, I hate to tell you this, but that's another weakness.
We'd have to share that with Jessica, our therapist that we're going to be having on as our guest soon.
We'll see what she has to say about that one.
You ever use that line in a session with someone?
All right. So you want to talk about some coming soon listings before we go to break, or we can?
Yeah, let's talk about the listings before we go to break, and then we'll bring Jessica on. Real quick, we've got, this is not a coming soon, it's here. Molokai, bed and breakfast called the Blue Goose. And that is, give us some details.
Yeah, you could go onto their website, check it out, thebluegoose.com.
Uh-huh.
And then we also have on our website, of course,
Team Lally.
teamlally.com with the video and pictures and all the information about the income potential of the home. But it's a 7-bedroom, 7-bath, 5,000 square feet. And
huge lot. They've got aquaponics going on there. They're raising dragon fruit.
Photovoltaic, full system. There's
full
like
PV system.
It just has the $18 a month bill.
And I would say in the entire state of Hawaii, Molokai probably has the highest kilowatt per hour charge. I don't know, it was like 50 cents a kilowatt, and that's expensive. So he zeroed that out, made the investment for the new owner. So you can own this business. You're tired of the rat race here in Kihei or on Maui? You can move to Molokai.
Yeah, go run a bed and breakfast or turn it to a care home.
Care home.
Maybe a lot of different options.
Maybe you're like one of those people on those reality shows and you just have a pile of kids. What is it, 19 going on 20?
All right, so then the next one we have, it's over in Maui Meadows.
Yes,
and
coming soon.
Yeah, we were actually just there this morning checking it out. 6-bedroom, 4-bath, a little bit over 3,000 square feet of living space. It's on a half acre. And it's going to be coming on the market at $925,000.
Yeah, income producing potential because there's separate living quarters that you can put tenants in.
Probably about $4,000 a month.
Lots of parking.
Of income potential.
Lots of parking, big lot. Everybody can spread out. If you go on Big Ohana, you guys can move into this and not be like crawling all over each other. And the last one coming soon is going to be Hana.
24 acres.
And
there's 11 acres of the crops.
Full PV. This is actually completely off the grid. They have a PV system with the battery. They also have a generator for those cloudy days.
And then they have their own cell tower.
2
homes on the property too.
Yeah, they got this huge cell tower on the top of a SUV. No. It's on the ground, and it's their personal cell tower. That's kind of neat.
Yeah. So let's go to break here, and now when we come back from our break, we'll be talking with a very special guest,
Jessica Brazil.
Yeah.
We recommend Fidelity National Title Insurance Company for your next real estate transaction.
Through its nationwide network of direct operations and agents, Fidelity National Title provides title insurance, underwriting, escrow, and closing services to consumers.
Check them out at fidelitynationaltitle.com or fntic.com.
When you're trying to find the best of the best, don't settle for an agent that's just like the rest. Pick a team that knows just what to do. From buying or selling, we work hard for you. Team Lally, the best real estate in the islands. 227-2703.
Well, if you're like me, you can find that real estate's pretty overwhelming. And here's a unique proposition for you. It's from ADRIENNE LALLY and Attilio Leonardi of Team Lally. What they do is offer a no-obligation guarantee. If they don't do their job, you're free to get out of the contract. But don't worry, you won't want to, because ADRIENNE and Attilio will sit down with you. Establish a price and deadline to sell your home. If that deadline passes and your home isn't sold, they'll buy your home. Check out the success story. A seller was foreclosed on due to falling behind maintenance fee payments, and the seller obviously felt kind of hopeless. But Team Lally got the home into escrow. The seller was freed from debt in 30 days, and the bank gave him an incentive for the trouble. Sellers love these guys. So call the only agents willing to earn your business every single day. ADRIENNE LALLY ATTILIO LEONARDI and their team. That number is 633-8633. 633-8633. The number again, 633-8633. And you can also find them online at guaranteedsale.com.
Hi, I'm Adrienne.
And I'm Attilio.
Buying or selling a home can be stressful.
We know that having a plan of action eliminates the stress.
And that's what we do. Get rid of the stress.
Here's one of our clients.
I think really the key to their success is the way they're able to communicate with their customers. I didn't have that the last time I used a realtor.
Open Gangnam Style. Gangnam Style.
Welcome back, and thanks for listening to the Team Lally Real Estate Show, home of the Guaranteed Sold program, or We'll Buy It. I'm Adrienne.
And I'm Attilio.
And we're talking about, what are we talking about?
We are talking about real estate and
Other related things.
and other related topics and whatever we want to talk about, because it's our
right.
show.
All right.
That's what we're talking about.
All right. So we do have some special guests joining us today.
Mm-hmm.
I think we have, is it Jessica Brazil?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay. And is Dr. Santo Triolo?
Triolo.
Is he also there too, or we're waiting for him to call in?
I believe we're waiting for him to call in from
Okay.
another location.
That's
All right.
okay. So we'll the show must go on.
We'll
so
get started with you.
On.
So tell us a little bit about yourself and what you do.
Well, I am a psychotherapist here
Mhm.
on Maui,
Mhm.
providing a wide range of mental health and industrial psychology services.
Okay.
We provide workshops on stress management, relationships and intimacy, childhood development, attachment, and trauma.
Mm-hmm.
And we work out of a clinic in Kihei
Mm-hmm.
called Aloha Psychological Services,
Okay.
and are actually a recently opened clinic. And we provide services to children, individuals, couples, families, and businesses who are basically wanting to work towards improving their mental health, developing stronger emotional intelligence, or other life area goals.
Yeah.
And if there's some type of issue that's blocking them from achieving their goals, then we work on helping identify what those areas of blockage are in order to achieve.
So it sounds like you provide
goals.
some coaching.
Yeah, life coaching
Life
is part
coaching.
of that. Mm-hmm.
So you
Yeah, but
also
it's
so you also had mentioned that you guys you offer workshops.
Mhm.
Yeah.
When is your next workshop?
we have one coming up August 21st
Mm-hmm.
from 5 to 6 p.m.
Mm-hmm.
at our clinic.
Mm-hmm.
Would you like that address?
Yeah. What's the address and what's going to be the topic?
The topic is going to be on relationships and intimacy.
Okay.
And our location's at 1325 South Kihei Road. And
So-
we're in Suite 210. So it's actually just down the road from your Keller Williams office.
Oh, right on.
Yeah, we're just maybe not even a block away.
So
A couple buildings down.
with these workshops, how do they just show up, or do they have to go online
RSVP?
and RSVP, or how does that
This
work?
particular one is open to the public. It's going to be our first, as we just opened up this clinic.
Mm-hmm.
So if you would like to attend, we would like to know the number of people who are coming, so you can call an RSVP with me, or you can show up, and hopefully we won't be so full that we have to turn anybody away. First come, first served.
Sure. And what's the
What's the RSVP phone number?
205, that's an 808 number,
Mm-hmm.
3711.
and I think Dr. Santo is here.
Wonderful.
Now, Dr. Santo, are you here?
Yes, I am. I'm listening.
All righty.
How you doing?
Thanks for coming on. And so we've been talking a little about. Now, you guys both are working out of the same clinic?
Yes, the same office.
Okay. And Jessica was telling us a little bit about your services. I know you were listening in. Anything else you wanted to add it, or introduce yourself and share what you guys are doing more. If you want to add on to what else y'all are doing at this clinic.
Well, I don't know what Jessica said,
Yeah.
but anyways, I'm a clinical psychologist.
Mm-hmm.
Name is Santo Triolo.
Mm-hmm.
I've been in service for about 30 years or so.
Uh-huh.
I worked on Maui for about 2.5 years, Department of Health, and just recently I started my own private practice.
Oh,
I
wow.
had been doing private practice for about 28 years prior to that.
Yeah.
And Jessica, I don't know what you said because I've been calling and the line was busy. So
It was those Santana
basically-
tickets we were giving away. No, we're not giving away any tickets. But
so sorry about that.
We were giving cash prize giveaways, I think, at our workshop.
Oh, is that right? Okay.
Yes.
so
But I don't know if you covered the support for crisis in businesses.
I didn't quite get that far about
Okay.
our industry psychology services and crisis support, but I did talk briefly about our workshop coming up, and I thought maybe you could.
Yeah, I heard that
a
tail
little bit
end.
more on that.
Yeah, that's good. Very good.
So yeah, give us some details on this workshop. What's gonna happen? I'm gonna if I have intimacy issues.
Well,
I should-
you don't even have to have intimacy issues. The
Yeah.
whole focus is on just advancing your relationship. In other
Oh.
words, there's always room for improvement and so forth.
That's good.
And my theme is that mental health, is equated to like mental wellness, and there's always room for improvement, that kind of thing. So the workshop is going to be focused on basically covering a lot of the research that we know that a lot of people really don't know about, and practical stuff that you can use
Mm-hmm.
that could make the relationship even more, intense and wonderful and so forth and so on.
Gotcha.
So it's not for, totally, dysfunctional people or anything
Sure.
like that. It's for the general public. You're all welcome. And it's a question of just looking at, what feelings are like and what kind of research has been done and so forth and so on.
Gotcha.
I'll give you a taste of it if you want.
Sure.
All right. For example, a lot of researchers, both here in the United States and also in Canada, have sort of nailed down a predictor of whether a marriage is going to succeed or
Mhm.
fail based on a very, very simple thing, and that is how you tend to argue, how you tend to deal with,
Adversity.
problems
yeah.
and
Mhm.
conflicts.
Yeah.
And what they did was very simply, they just had people come in, people who have been married for a number of years, they're perfectly happy with each other and so forth and so on. And they had them deal with a particular problem that they have, some kind of conflict. And while they were doing that, they were videotaping them.
Mm-hmm.
And then later on, they just assessed the videotapes. And what they found was that simple factor of if you get to be personal on your conflicts, whatever that happens to be, the more personal you tend to be, the higher the risk of a marriage not surviving. And what was incredible about it is that they can predict it at the 90th percentile,
Wow.
which is, pretty incredible. Yeah. Just another thing that is going to be covered a little bit, there are basically 4 torpedoes, 4 negative things that could sink the ship in terms of a relationship.
Mm-hmm.
Do you want to guess what they are?
The 4 things are
Communication.
4 things that would torpedo a relationship with someone.
Yeah, well, just sure. What's the thing? And I'll give you a little bit of background. When they started the research, they were thinking of like a long list of different problems that will come
Yeah.
up that will cause, a relationship to go down the tubes. But actually, it broke down to 4 categories, 4 things, and that's all.
I think one of them was like extremely bad breath.
That
You know what?
could
That
play a
was the list
factor in it.
originally, but it didn't make it at the end.
That's a subcategory. That one's still being researched.
That one's still being researched, but it's highly recommended. It's highly recommended to make fresh breath a priority.
There you go.
I used to tell my Cub Scouts that, and the parents would get a
And
kick
don't
out of
forget
it.
passing gas.
I have flatulence issues. Okay, well that's a different seminar.
Next topic
Well,
will be
you
on oral
cover one
hygiene
end, you got
with
to cover the
dentists.
other end too.
We wanted you to clear the air, not the room. But, geez, the 4 categories is. I mean,
Maybe
it's,
like financial. You know, having
There you
like
go. There's one right there.
Financial
right?
is one.
maybe goals, like having different goals in life. Nope.
No.
You gotta do like the buzzer sound at least, like.
We're floundering here. Number one is financial. Yeah,
Mhm.
that's important. Number two is sexual intimacy.
Okay.
Or just general love, and that may include bad breath or no bad breath. I don't know. I got to look closely to that. The third one is extended family or in-laws.
Okay.
And and there's some real issues dealing with that. Like for instance, before you get married, do you discuss things like your aging mother? Would it be okay for her to live with you guys? That kind of stuff. Or what kind of relationship do you have in terms, raising children and dealing with the grandparents and so forth and so on. And I gave away the last one. The last one is parenting.
Parenting.
So that's it. Those four things. And all it takes is just one of them to sink the ship. But
just one of
them. It's really
them.
kind of interesting that it just solidifies into like four different categories, and that's it.
Well, I talked with my wife, and we were going to do like the Eskimos, when our aging parents, when they lose all their teeth, we're going to leave them on an ice pack.
You're horrible.
In a floating ice pack. That's what the Eskimos do.
To the bears, right?
Yeah. And but no, yeah, those are some. If I could easily, now that you mention them, like say that those would be good topics of heated discussion. One of the things that we did, we went through a engagement encounter, and that's when they make you do the writing exercises and discuss all those topics. I think one of them, they said, and most couples don't even talk about it, is like, what are you going to do with the checking account? Are you going to have his checking account, her checking account, or our checking account? And you don't think about those things because you're planning, what are the centerpiece is going to be.
You're in love, you're in passion, so you don't have that kind of mentality at that point.
Until.
But another simple thing, just to give you an example, is you're married, so if you decide to buy a sandwich for lunch today, and it costs you $5, $6, whatever it happens to be, you call up your wife and say, I'm getting a sandwich. It's going to cost $6. Is that okay? Chances are, do that. Chances are it's okay for you to spend, $5 or $6 on lunch. On the other end of the spectrum, if you drive by a boat shop and you see this great boat, and it only costs you about $250,000. Do you call up your wife and tell her, "Hey, I'm buying a boat this afternoon"? Obviously on one end of the spectrum you don't say anything. On the other end of the spectrum, of course, you're going to discuss it with your. I hope you would discuss it with your spouse.
Yeah.
Now the big question mark is that's a big spectrum there.
Yes.
Where in the middle? Where is the cutoff? At what point do you say to you, that this is something that I have to discuss with my spouse before I, sign on the dotted line, or I pay whatever happens to be, and so forth and so on. And that's actually, it gets even more complicated. Like, for instance, in some cultures, there is no line for the male, but there's certainly a line for the woman.
Oh, yeah.
Okay? So there's like different components dealing with culture and so forth and so on.
Yeah.
So that's what we're going to do. We're gonna have some exercise. Hopefully it'll be fun. I don't know.
I think it will be fun because those are definitely interesting topics. And I was thinking about that boat. I was like, if you don't talk to your wife and you come up with that boat, it's bad luck to not name the boat. So that boat's name would be WTF.
You might find a hole in it or something. Yeah. But this actually happened with my sister, and it was like a very innocent thing. They were just, newly married, about a year and a half or so. And she comes home from work, and she sees all this exercise equipment.
Uh-oh.
And it was like hundreds of dollars. And her husband, heard her talk about she needs to exercise, and that sounds like a good thing on TV. And he kept it to himself and then surprised her. Well, he got the big surprise. He's going, listen, she goes, send it back. We can't afford it. Does it make sense?
Yeah, it makes sense. I mean, I was thinking of an example that I thought, this is where my wife's smarter than me. My son calls me up. He's 17 years old. He says, Dad, I want to dye my hair green. And I was like, okay. At first, the average dads are going to be like, what? No way. That's idiotic. Don't do that. But I was excited with the fact that he called me as opposed to just showing up at home with the green hair.
There you go. Right.
So I said, you know what? You're being a good kid. You got straight A's. We don't have any trouble with you. You want to go dye your hair green. If that's what you want to do, don't use chemicals and burn all your hair off your head. Do it, I don't know.
And it's also reversible too.
Yeah, and it's not a permanent, and it'll grow out, and no big deal. But my wife's smart because he went and asked her, because I thought, you know what, I answered that too quick because I never even checked with my wife. And she could flip out if our 17-year-old comes home with green hair. But she's smarter than me. She had already said, check with your dad.
Oh, is that right?
And she said, it sounds fine to me, but check with your dad. And so she was smart for both of us. Because I thought my 17-year-old was going to come home with green hair, and we were going to have a discussion.
I thought he wanted blue hair.
And
then it turned green.
Well, this is what I learned. Things you learn. You got to bleach it blonde or white, and then you color it. I did not know that, as Ig McMahon says. So
and
anyway.
From a developmental point of view, you can celebrate that even though this is a real frustrating point of behavior, that it's actually developmentally appropriate. So that's actually another area that we'll talk about in our workshop, is how childhood development and meeting different developmental stages at different ages impacts how a child behaves. And that some behavior, while it's frustrating and irritating, like green hair or staining your bathtub with the dye in the process is perhaps normal, and which areas are concerning and which ones we should be concerned about and which ones are developmentally appropriate and should be celebrated.
Well, I think it's important as a parent to have a sense of humor. Can you say, oh, is that your son? No, that's a Japanese anime character that lives in my home. His name is Goku, and he has green hair. And now but you know what? He's taking a summer program at Yale. I can imagine what the kids are over there, but these kids are coming from all over the world. I don't know. Half of them probably got purple hair. And because it's a life experience and it's no big deal. At least he didn't say...
At least he didn't get a tattoo.
Tattoo or piercings.
Those are permanent.
And so I was cool with that. But yeah, so all right. I think this is a great... What's the phone number they called to RSVP?
808-205-3711.
And what was that number again? Go ahead.
808-205-3711.
Yeah, so it's not about, hey, I got issues and let's come check this out. It's more of like, how can I improve my quality of life?
It's like coaching.
Yeah.
And it's, Harvard Business Review actually just recently published an article on emotional intelligence. Just talking about, speaking of finances, when Dr. Triolo was discussing financial performance and wellness, and having good communication around finances, that the more emotionally mature, the more emotionally intelligent an individual is, the more financially successful they are.
Yeah.
And all sorts of research that's been studied across neuroscience, psychology, and marketing that is showing that the higher...
And the good thing about that research is that no matter what your IQ score is in terms of emotional intelligence, there's room for improvement, and we actually can see how people can improve. So, you can raise your IQ. How about that?
Yeah, and we, my wife and I just went through a marriage encounter, and it was great. We spent the whole day with the exercise, so I understand the value of it. And one of the main things I got out of it is people spend a lot of time on like getting a medical degree or learning a trade on how to do concrete work, but we don't spend a lot of time on those things. Emotional intelligence. We should spend some time and effort on that.
Or in the finances, that kind of thing. You don't really have a college degree on how to invest and
on how to share and to trust and to take healthy risks and to calm fears and anxiety.
Well, yeah, definitely. Yeah, Adrienne and I are big fans of that. We've always had coaching going on in our real estate careers and
financial planners and
CPAs.
Big supporters of the Dave Ramsey financial piece.
Yes, and because you're right, there is a big mind-body connection when you're just mentally not well. I mean, I know they've done scientific studies. It affects your immune system, and there's physiological reactions to not being
mentally
to not being happy.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it affects work performance and sick leave and absenteeism. And actually, that's another service that Dr. Triolo and I are offering.
Yeah, talk about that.
Crisis support to businesses when they're aware that an employee is perhaps struggling. Maybe one of your coworkers suddenly passed away, or
Yes.
there was some type of traumatic event,
Mm-hmm.
or you're aware that some incident has taken place, being able to refer to somebody to respond
Yeah.
to that within the business in order to prevent the company from suffering further from sick leave or absenteeism or turnover.
And it's like you said, even if no drama's going on, at least I'm sure you guys could provide advice on just how to have better communication within the workplace.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Or even just on a personality profile, who fits a good role in a business. What is their personality profile? Where would they fit best into the business? Or because businesses are very similar to families, and unless we understand ourselves individually as well as the family we came from, and have a strong understanding of that, we really relate to other human beings based on our primal attachment figures in life. What are those early relationship experiences were with our parents? We transfer that into business relationships with colleagues, bosses. There are tons of situations that come up between employer and employee that are, projections of earlier childhood dynamics, power struggles, and it can be very draining and time-consuming and affect productivity and the goals of the business.
Yeah.
So we offer support in helping companies work on those issues as well.
So you guys would come into the business and kind of assess everybody that's within the business, the employers, the employees, and make sure that everybody's in the correct role based on their personality?
There's like 3 areas of, crisis intervention is something that Jessica just talked about. That's one of them. The other one is sort of, and she touched on it as well, is personnel assessment. Let's say you have a project that needs to be done, and you want to find the best team together. How do you put together a team? And so you have these, the complementary systems that you try to set up. Someone that is very detail-oriented can work much, better if you have somebody that, sees the big picture and so forth, as long as they don't kill each other.
Yeah.
But that's another area of, sort of developing a system within the company that makes the company more efficient in getting things done and so forth and so on. And then the final thing is just what we do in these workshops, these trainings, stress management. I worked for AFLAC and gave lots of workshops dealing with, the stresses within the workforce, but also stresses at home, what to look for, what not to look for, how to be your own counselor, and what have you. So, yeah.
I think
Go ahead.
I was going to say, I think this type of help is becoming more commonplace. I'm a soccer nut, and one of I know in the World Cups going on, one of the teams actually they have a team therapist, because people don't realize, I mean, let's say you're playing for Brazil, the whole stinking country is watching you and what you're doing, and the players are under a tremendous amount of stress, and the team is not like these guys are like having issues. It's just that teaching them how to deal with it so that they can perform better when they do get on the field and aren't psyched out and making mistakes when they have a team therapist. I was like, that's cool. They got a latte machine and a team therapist.
And there's a lot of money put into mindfulness practice in professional sports. And it's been interesting actually doing some mindfulness practice in individual therapy with kids and adults, and see them be able to take basically.
And by the way, that work
lives.
is a lot of fun.
Yeah,
it's absolutely enjoy because you have people that are much better than average in a lot of areas, even beyond their athletic ability. I had the pleasure of working with some Olympic athletes.
Okay.
And we did pretty advanced stuff in terms of breathing and being able to just focus and shut out the rest of the crowd and all that stuff. And they had great discipline. It was just wonderful to work with them, and much better than average.
Yes.
And it was a lot of fun to do. So.
All right. Well, thanks so much for coming on the show.
Okay.
Thank you for having us.
And we'll probably have
really
you guys on the show again, because those are great topics to talk about.
Yeah,
really?
and make sure if our listeners, they got to go over to their workshop August 21st
from 5
August 21st, 5 p.m.
5 p.m. and the address is 1325 South Kihei Road.
Yes, Suite 210.
Suite 210. All right. Thanks so much, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Don't go too far. When we come back, we have some We have our Maui Sada on the street calling in.
He'll be calling in with good info.
When you're trying to find the best of the best, don't settle for an agent that's just like the rest. Pick a team that knows just what to do. From buying or selling, we work hard for you. Team Lally, the best real estate in the islands. 227-2703.
Well, it's time to sell that home you're in because you want to buy that new house you're looking at, but you get a little frustrated with the whole situation. Well, then here's a unique proposition for you. It's from ADRIENNE Lally and Attilio Leonardi of Team Lally. What they do is offer a no-obligation guarantee. If they don't do their job, you're free to get out of the contract. But don't worry, you won't want to because Adrienne and Attilio will sit down with you, establish a price and a deadline to sell your home. If that deadline passes and your home isn't sold, they'll buy your home. Check out the success story. The team listed a home. It was a challenging listing due to some tenant constraints. With Team Lally's proven strategy, they generated 4 offers, resulting in a $4,000 over the asking price offer accepted by the seller. Sellers love these guys. So call the only agents willing to earn your business every single day. Adrienne Lally, Attilio Leonardi, and her team. That number is 633-8633. That number once again is 633-8633. And you can also find them online at guaranteedsale.com.
Hi, I'm Adrienne.
And I'm Attilio.
When we work with you as a client, we want to focus on what
Your real estate goals are and help you reach them.
But don't take our word for it.
Here's a happy Team Lally client.
With Team Lally, it was a different experience because she and Attilio understood what me and my husband were looking to do and which house we were interested in, and they didn't try to pressure us to look at anything else. They were just understanding, and they said, okay, if this is the house that you want, then we'll wait it out and see what happens. So I think we waited about seven months or so, and finally, the transaction and everything went through, and we got the house that we wanted. So they're very professional, very knowledgeable, very respectful, and just a delight to work with.
Hit me.
Welcome back. This is Adrienne.
And this is Attilio.
And you're listening to the Team Lally Real Estate Show, home of the Guaranteed Sold program, or we'll buy it. If you have any questions, you can reach us at 633-8633. That's 633-8633. Or on the web at teamlally.com, and that's Lally.
Hey, so if you were listening earlier and you wanted to get information on that, where'd you do it? There it is.
Right there.
It's a workshop.
From Aloha Psychological Services.
Yes, and it's for just mental well-being.
Relationships, like a relationship coaching.
Relationship coaching seminar. That's it. It's free, open to the public. That's going to be on August 21st at 5 p.m. Clinic's located at 1325 South Kihei Road, Suite 210. And to RSVP or get more information, that phone number is 205-3711. What's that number?
205-3711.
Again, that's 205-3711. All right, hopefully that was enough time for you to go run and go grab your pen and write that down. If you missed it, send us an email, info@teamlally.com. That's Lally. All right, we have our Maui.
Our Maui Sada on the street.
Maui Sada on the street, is he there?
Is this when I make the crunch?
Yeah.
I'm eating my basada right now.
Maui Sada. Oh, you're supposed to it's hot.
All right, so let's. I'd like to talk real quick about the Maui mortgage team before we get into. Before we get into any kind of property up and comings or our deal of the day. So
real quick, Brandon, why is it if you're working with somebody who's looking to buy a home, what's the first step that you recommend that they do?
Well, without question, I always recommend talking with a lender because it sets you off on the right pace. You get just that much more information. You're able to understand the financial side of the looking side.
Now, one of the things we've learned through the Mortgage Bankers Association and NAR, National Association of Realtors, is they surveyed consumers of mortgage services, and they found out that consumers they go with the first person. So shop around. But guess what? We did the shopping around for you.
That's right. You got to call the Maui Mortgage Team.
Maui Mortgage Team.
You got to start out your search by giving Jenny Madsen a call at the Maui Mortgage Team. Actually, it's MauiMortgageTeam.com.
MauiMortgageTeam.com. And their number is 270-2775. These guys are professional. They pretty much ran one of the largest mortgage companies
in Canada.
And they are a young couple. They're very successful, and they decided, you know
very
what?
Sharp.
We're tired of the snow. We're going to bring all our expertise and knowledge and come over here and do this on Maui and do exactly the same thing. Take a look at their website. They have an awesome video right on the front page. Kind of gives you an introduction to who they are. You have to get to see them very professionally produced video. If that video, it's not if, it is an indication of their level of professionalism and follow-up and timeliness and everything else. So check it out.
MauiMortgageTeam.com. And what's that number?
270-2775. Okay.
Give him a call.
All right. So back to our Maui Masada, our man on the street.
Brandon Force.
I just want to add real quick there on Maui Mortgage Team.
Yeah.
You know, I have a buyer that is Canadian, and they had no faith that they could get a better situation going for them here in Hawaii, and it's looking like they're doing it definitely because of their experience with the fact that they came from Canada.
Yes.
They have a lot of inside information, and so it's becoming a real wealth of knowledge.
Yeah, so their expertise in foreign buyers,
Foreign national buyers,
is super helpful, and we know that we have a pretty diverse buyer group here on Maui. It's a lot of the properties are being bought by people who aren't living here, live in the United States, and may not even be U.S. citizens. All right, so what do you want to share with us today, Brandon?
Gosh, the meaning of life, all kinds of things. No, but real estate. Well, I guess probably a couple things is some upcoming listings.
Sure, go ahead.
I did manage to get in touch with the seller about a couple of days ago with the Maui Lani property, and he's still thinking that coming up that before the end of the summer they'll have that home coming up on the market. So that's that was a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, has a nice garage. That one could be. I think you guys mentioned it earlier today, but a Maui Meadows property.
Yep, repetition lends emphasis. Tell them again.
So the Maui Meadows property, it's beautiful, actually. A lot of Maui Meadows properties have a pretty good slope to them, and this one has a really big backyard. I think Adrienne was saying that you could even throw a pool in there. So it has lots of that. It has a huge avocado tree. She said it has a lychee tree as well as an orange tree.
Lychee. That's what you say when you're taking pictures in Hawaii.
Yeah, you don't say cheese, you say lychee.
But don't catch them on the lie part. Wait till they go chee. Okay. All right. So lychee tree, and I think I had an orange tree on there too. But
yep, six bedrooms.
6 bedrooms, 4 baths. Wow. 3,000 feet of 3,000
over
square feet.
3,000.
Over 3,000.
Yeah.
You guys can spread out. That's what helps with human relations, spreading out.
And then Ohana Cottage.
Ohana Cottage.
Half an acre.
Lots of room for all
kinds
of equipment.
Yep.
Both whether you want to hang your kayaks up, underneath the garage or on the side. I mean, there's just lots of storage.
Yes. If you collect outdoor signs, you can put them all over. No, don't do that. The neighbor's not going to like that. Put them underneath the house, hidden.
So with any of these coming soon listings,
what's the number?
Yeah, you can give us a call at 633-8633, and we can give you more details about these coming soon listings and maybe get you into them before they hit the market.
Tired of being beat out on properties? Give us a call, because we're actively, with all the marketing that we do, we got people contacting us every week. There's always something in the works.
Yep, they're in different stages of getting the homes ready, and they will be on the market, but you can get a sneak peek.
If they want a price and you're willing to give it to them, hey, boom.
Done.
It's yours. All right. Anything else, Brandon?
Yes. Let's throw in the deal of the day. So
okay.
This one's been on the market just a couple of days.
Mm-hmm.
This one's up in Haiku. So as a lot of people here on Maui know, there's Haiku and then there's Haiku, or it's like way out there where you're on your way to Hana. This one is a lot more close. So it's literally just right up from Malika Gulch, which puts you maybe 5 minutes away from the surf break Ho'okipa, and of course another couple minutes on to Paia. So fairly close to town. It's a 2-bedroom, 1-bath home, and it needs a little bit of elbow grease, but it's with your imagination and a little bit of that, you'll get a long ways. And it's $200,000 right now.
Oh wow, $200,000, and it's fee simple.
Correct. So it's kind of that rainforest oasis. So if you want a retreat or a paradise in the rainforest, that's definitely something you want to look into, especially at that price point.
All right.
That's a great price for a house.
And For those of you who don't know what a haiku is, it's a poem, Japanese form of poetry. But anyway, I thought I'd come up with one, but I couldn't find one on the internet that quick. But anything else you want to share? Anything else on any other neighborhoods?
Yep. This neighborhood this week, I wanted to go out towards Lahaina on the west side because it's always a very desirable place. I don't really know exactly why, but whenever I ask people, when they're visiting Maui, they always seem to stay first on the west side, and then from there they find that if they want to do other activities, it may make more sense to be more central. But the Lahaina side is usually where most people end up being for their first day, and of course they want to buy too. And this particular area is Lahaina Luna, and then of course it's very close to the Lahaina town and Front Street, where it's famous for its food and activities there is. And there's currently 13 homes right now on the market in that Lahaina Luna area, and they're starting at $445,000, and they go up to, of course, just over $5 million.
All right. Well, we're coming
That's a big range.
Coming to the end of the show, and I would like to share with you the most world famous Japanese haiku. You guys ready?
Ready.
Furu ikiya kawazu tobikomu mizo no oto.
What?
May I have my bowl right?
Translated, old pond, a frog leaps in, water's sound. And we have to pause. You got to let that sink in for a little bit. You want to give you the Japanese one?
Almost like the Jack Handy quotes.
It's like a Jack Handy quote. It's like biting into a donut. You don't know what's in the middle.
I see.
But that was a haiku.
Lovely.
People are like, I was listening to a radio show and I had learned this beautiful haiku on this show today. So Brandon, we're going to see you here in a little bit because we're going to be visiting with some clients that are going to be interviewing us. And this is what we tell everybody. Don't list your home with us.
Interview us.
Interview us. Okay? Because we're defining ourselves as a marketing company.
That just happens to have a real estate license.
That just happens to help you buy and sell real estate, and that's what we're really good at. And that's what you're looking for in a realtor, because everybody can do the comparables and come up with prices and square footage in a bedroom. Those are pretty quantifiable, easy things that anybody can do. But what is going to be the key in the marketing, and how do we sell over 100 plus homes every year when everyone's doing 0 to 5?
Well, there's the marketing aspect, and then there's the people aspect. So like today, the home that we went to go visit, there's some challenges, and we're not scared of those challenges.
Very complicated situation. We seem to be a magnet for those, but that's okay. We like challenges, and how we remain so busy is that our number one focus with people is we're here to serve and help people.
It's about them.
Yeah.
Making sure we're doing what's best for them.
So whether you're thinking about listing your home 6 months from now or a year from now, give us a call at what number?
633-8633. That's 633-8633. Well, thanks for listening, and thank you to our sponsors.
Denise Kaehu with Hawaii Escrow and Title.
Matt Fortier of Fidelity National Title.
And if you want to get a hold of any of our sponsors, just go to teamlally.com. Check out our business partner page under our link section.
We also want to give a big thank you to Gary, our producer here in the studio.
Chee-hoo.
And make sure to tune in next week. We're going to have an awesome guest talking about something that'll change your life forever.
This is the Team Lally Real Estate Show, home of the guaranteed
sold program. If we can't sell your home at the agreed upon price and your time frame, we'll have it bought for cash.
Thanks and aloha!